The circuit Reims-Gueux was a racing road course in Gueux, 5 miles west of Reims in northeast France. The road course was first established in 1926 and had a triangular layout built using public roads between the villages of Gueux and Thillois. The original circuit, used until 1951, was almost 8 kilometers long and had only 8 corners. The circuit quickly became one of the fastest in those days, thanks to its 2.2 kilometers long straights, approximately the same length of the main straight of the Baku International Circuit used nowadays in Formula 1. Just like in Baku and at Le Mans today, the long straights allow drivers to reach very high speeds, which help developing slipstream battles amongst the drivers. The first motor race held at the Reims-Gueux road course took place in 1926. It was the second Grand Prix de la Marne, whose first edition took place on the 2nd of August the previous year around the 22-kilometer Circuit de Bain-Norrois, for which 8,000 spectators turned up. The start-finish line for the original 7.8-kilometer circuit was placed approximately 1.5 kilometers east of the Gueux village. 4 weeks later, in August 1926, the first edition of the 12 Hours of Reims took place on the same circuit, in what is considered one of the first endurance races in motorsport. During the next few years, small improvements to increase the track width in a few sections of the circuit were carried out, in preparation for the first Grand Prix de France in 1932, and the circuit remained pretty much the same until 1937. The first French Grand Prix in 1932 was won by Italian driver Tazio Nuvolari, and it was another 6 years before the French Grand Prix made its return on the streets of Reims, for which occasion further improvements were made, like the extensive widening of the Thillois-Gueux straight, which increased top speeds even further. After the Second World War, racing returned at the Reims-Gueux road course in 1947, with the 16th Grand Prix de Reims. In 1950 and 1951, Reims hosted the first 2 editions of the French Grand Prix as part of the new Formula 1 World Championship, and both races were won by Juan Manuel Fangio on Alfa Romeo. In preparation for the 1952 season, the track was reconfigured to bypass the town of Gueux. As a result, the circuit was shortened from 7.8 to 7.1 kilometers. With the village of Gueux no longer a part of the racing track, the circuit was renamed Circuit de Reims. Further changes took place in 1953, in preparation for the return of the 12 Hours of Reims, 27 years after its first edition, and the circuit length was increased to nearly 8.4 kilometers. The following year, further improvements were carried out on the Thillois and Mouison corners, shortening the racetrack by almost 100 meters to 8.3 kilometers. The circuit remained the same for almost 2 decades, when it closed permanently in 1972, in the year when the final motorcycle race was held. The last Formula 1 race on the Reims track was held in 1966 and was won by 2-time world champion Jack Brabham.